My mic is hot. So let's start talking then. Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall, here we are. It's Magic Game Day. It's Friday, I think, and the Magic are back home. I think. Is that where we are? We're at Kia Center. We're on the radio deck.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool.
You're Jake Chapman. I'm Chrissy Birdsall.
All right. Oh, good. Thanks. And we are getting set for a very extensive 2-game homestand before the Magic head out to Europe next week. We'll discuss that maybe a little bit more on Sunday. Tonight, Magic looking for 2 straight wins for the first time in well over a month. The Philadelphia 76ers in a red-hot Philadelphia 76ers team. They've won 4 of 5. Magic have alternated wins for over a month now. It's been win-loss for what I think the last 12 games, I believe it is.
About that.
So Orlando trying to gain a little traction. The good news is, and we'll talk about this a little bit, nobody else is playing great basketball really across the entire NBA, but specifically in the Eastern Conference. It's pretty much Boston, and then everybody else is kind of like 5-5 in their last 10, or 4-6, or 6-4. So everybody's sort of treading water right now. I always say it this time of year, Chrissy, these are the dog days of the NBA season. You get through the holidays. You got the All-Star break kind of off in the distance, and there's still about 6 weeks, or right now about a month after Christmas, before the All-Star break, that good teams are able to gain a little distance in the standings, or at the very least kind of put things together and start building towards, as you head into the All-Star break, and then what is sort of a mad dash out of the All-Star break to wrap up the regular season and heading into the postseason. So tough time right now. The Magic are still waiting to get healthy. The status report does not do us any favors again here tonight. No Wagner's on the floor. You don't have Jalen Suggs once again. So you're going to have to make do with what you have. And as we know, it's more than enough. Magic were able to play some pretty good basketball for 3.5 quarters against the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday. Ends up going into overtime. Yegor Dioman is a beast. He turned into a beast, I guess, late in that basketball game. We couldn't close that guy's water off, but Paolo Banchero banks in a 3 at the horn. You're able to sneak away with a dub. We'll talk about some of the things that went wrong, and we'll just take it straight from the horse's mouth here from Coach Mosley, what he said he didn't like about that game on Wednesday. But the bottom line is you steal a win. It's a 1-1 road trip. Didn't like the way you played against Washington. Probably have some things still to clean up against Brooklyn, but as we always say, if you have to learn lessons, much better, Chrissy, to learn them in dubs, and you ended up getting the dub in Brooklyn on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that was exactly what Coach Mosley said after that win, was that it was just good for the group to bounce back because of that loss to Washington. Was just so rough for them that they needed to get back on track, get their head above water, and that's exactly what they did. They came out strong. They played very well through those first 3 quarters, and then Brooklyn had a little bit of a spark with them at the end. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. played a really strong game. You talk about Yegor Dioman, he was a beast in that 4th quarter. They couldn't stop him from wherever. They got that big shot at the end to tie it at 93 apiece. And for Orlando, I mean, you get into that 4th quarter, and they get into overtime. The 3 ball wasn't falling. They were missing some easy ones. They were actually 1 of 5 from 3 in overtime. The only make that they had was Paolo Banchero's game-winning banked-in 3. So all that matters is that they got the win at the end of the day. You heard Penda say it. You heard Paolo say it after the game. Just they wanted to get the win, get back on track. Now they're able to come home at the Kia Center, try and stack some wins here. You got an opportunity tonight against a very strong 76ers team. You got another opportunity on Sunday against the Pelicans, and then you're going across the pond to Europe. So this is a really good opportunity to try and stack some wins, get into that standings. That's something that the Magic haven't been too worried about from what I gathered this morning in shoot around, is that they're more focused on their process. But if you can stack a few wins here, that's going to go a long way when it comes to April.
Yeah, just to sort of compound what I was talking about a moment ago real quick. If you're worried about the fact that the Magic are 5-5 in their last 10 and it feels like can't gain any traction in the Eastern Conference, that's the way everybody's playing right now. The Knicks 5-5 in their last 10. Toronto, Philadelphia 6-4 over their last 10. The Cavs 6-4 over their last 10. Atlanta's lost 7 of 10. The Bulls have split their last 10. Milwaukee, et cetera, right on down the list, including those Brooklyn Nets. So basically everybody's playing 500 basketball right now. You come into tonight's 6th in the Eastern Conference, and you're 3.5 games out of the 2 seed. So everything is still in front of you, but obviously until you get healthy, you're treading water isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, you can look at it one way and say the Magic can't win 2 in a row. They also haven't lost 2 in a row, with the exception of that Denver-New York kind of weird back-to-back where you were in Vegas, you came back home, and then you headed out for that West Coast road trip against Denver. This thing could have gone very sideways, in my opinion, at times. And yes, the schedule broke in your favor as far as the competition goes, but when we were looking in mid-December and saying, boy, as soon as we get off this West Coast road trip, things are going to look a lot better. Well, what we didn't account for was teams like Washington and Charlotte and Brooklyn turning things around themselves,
right,
and playing better basketball themselves. Philadelphia is one of these teams. We come into tonight. This is the rubber match. Each team, this is the third and final matchup with the 76ers so far this year. They are the 5 seed right now. We're the 6 seed. Obviously, it's a little too early to be glancing too closely at the standings. But with that said, you could look up at the end of the year, and having the head-to-head matchup advantage against this team could prove very, very large when postseason positioning comes in. And when you look at the previous 2 matchups, one was at the end of October, one was at the end of November. You're talking about 2 pretty contrasting outcomes
right.
in those games. Magic at the end of October, that was that road trip. It was kind of strange. Both road trips, we went from Philadelphia to Detroit. The one around Halloween was at the very beginning of the season, and that was almost rock bottom, right? You had a 1-4 start to the season. You got smacked around in Philadelphia, allowed 136 points, only lost the game by 12 points. You were able to put points on the board that night, but you had absolutely no answer for Tyrese Maxey and for rookie VJ Edgecombe. That was our first look at him. A lot of other teams have had the same sort of look at VJ Edgecombe. It is very difficult to stay in front of that guy. Maxey, we know he can score from anywhere on the floor. He's an MVP sort of candidate. He had 43 that night. VJ Edgecombe had 26 points that night. You end up losing 136 to 124. And then you come back a month later, and not only do you strike a little revenge, but you dog walk the 76ers in Philadelphia Thanksgiving week. That was 144-103, and historic offensive performance for your Orlando Magic that night, and for one Anthony Black as well. That sort of, I think, started the coming out party for AB.
Oh, yeah.
Had a career-high 31 points, 20 points in the second quarter. And that second quarter, you put 51 points on the board. It was an 86-point first half, both of those franchise records in 37 years of Magic basketball. We have never scored 51 points in a quarter until November 25th in Philadelphia. This Philadelphia team looks a lot different than that Philadelphia team. This Philadelphia team has won 4 of 5. This Philadelphia team has Joel Embiid playing consistently Joel Embiid-type basketball. Paul George is healthy, and he looks good. This Philadelphia team's the second-best offensive team in the league. Over the course of the last 5, they are putting up big, big numbers, and they have
that integration, seeing how everything was going, and it's been so far so good. Joel Embiid, he is, I believe, probable for tonight. I think that's what I saw on the latest status report. So when he's playing, he's been playing at a really high clip right now. He's averaging 23 points per game over 18 games played. He's averaging just under 7 rebounds per game, as well as 3 assists. He's been doing everything on all ends of the floor. You talked about Tyrese Maxey, who's just a scorer. He is a walking bucket, averaging almost over 30 points per game. And that was something Coach Mosley talked about this morning, is that there's scoring options everywhere, so they have to play and defend well. And it's hard you can't double team somebody, because somebody else on that team could also have a big night as well.
Yeah, and they're still figuring out how to play together, but the bottom line is they just run those handoff sets, and Embiid just sort of pitches the ball to Maxey and then figures out a way to set a screen for him. Embiid never rolls all the way to the bucket anymore. He's going to roll right to the free throw line and try to shoot jumpers over Wendell all night. And so you got to be locked in. Sometimes you can be locked in with these guys, and it doesn't matter because they're that talented. Maxey, as you mentioned, is 3rd in the league in scoring. He's one of the best players in the league, and he is still, I think, figuring out exactly how good he can be. Had 43 on us back on October 27th, as I mentioned, but averaging over 30 a night. Very efficient, too, 47.7% from the field, over 40% from three-point range. Gets to the free throw line very frequently as well. And then, oh, by the way, when you think you have all of that taken care of and you worry about all the things he can do offensively, he averages 1.85 steals per game. That is 5th in the league. And Edgecombe is at 1.55 steals. That's 11th in the league. This team turns you over. They get out and get in transition and get easy buckets. And if you can't stay in front of those two guys, which is something we have struggled with the last week or so, it's not something you worry about when you're talking about Orlando Magic defense. But that's gotten away from us going back about a week now, coming off of that road trip in Toronto, Chicago, and Indianapolis. just the idea of keeping a man in front of you is going to be such a big key tonight. You let Maxey or Edgecombe get by the first wave of defense, start breaking you down. Now you're not helping the helper, and those guys are so fast. And with Maxey specifically, that in-between game, those floaters and that teardrop stuff, we saw that in October in Philadelphia. It absolutely torched us, just sort of getting into the teeth of the defense and then creating from there. That's something you're going to have locked in tonight. Do you know what rubber match means?
Yes.
Okay, it means, right?
Two teams, they're, even in the standings, even in the, series, head-to-head series.
Yep.
Whoever wins takes series.
So, but it's very specifically a 1v1, so It's got to be the third. When each has one win. Do you want to know where it comes from?
No.
You don't want to know, or you don't
want to know. I don't know where it is from. Sorry.
Rubber match, because you would think rubber, like, it kind of can go either way, right? Like it's a third. But it actually dates back to lawn bowling in the 16th century, believe it or not. That's where rubber match comes from, and it has way more to do with rubbing out your opponent. It is the final match, and so you can wipe your opponent away. You can finish your opponent. And if you're talking about bocce, or if you're talking about lawn bowling, you're talking about nudging the ball up and rubbing it up against the target ball. And so it actually comes down to bocce ball and lawn bowling from the 1600s.
What are you doing in your free time?
Lawn
bowling?
That's prep, baby. That is prep. Figuring out
lawn?
exactly where rubber match comes from. And that is the type of stuff you get here on Magic Game Day.
Yeah, we wouldn't get that anywhere else. I usually hear it in baseball. That's like where I've heard the term a lot, just because there's so many of those 3-game series. So it's like, get to the third game. Okay, the rubber match between these two teams.
Correct.
But I do want to address this one comment on TikTok. I saw 76ers revenge game. It feel like a bit of a revenge game for the 76ers. I think when you come off of that loss, yes, they won the first one 136 to 124. But when you look at that second match and just how much of a mismatch it was, I think is the best way to describe it. You get 51 points scored on you in the second quarter. You get beaten 144 to 103. I believe the Magic at one point were up 45 points on the 76ers. It was one of those games where the run was so bad, the only thing Andre Drummond could do was cause chaos to try and stop the bleeding, and it actually worked for about 5 minutes, and then the Magic came out of the locker room and continued to do well. But yes, it was one of those games that it felt very positive for all of the Magic players, Anthony Black especially. Desmond Bane, I think, was starting to get going a little bit. He had a really huge game after that. Paolo Banchero in that game. He was not in that game. I apologize. I'm looking at the first one. But yeah, it was one of those games. It was one of the best offensive performance we've seen from the Orlando Magic this season. So when Philadelphia coming in, knowing that series is on the line, and knowing that you're coming off of that loss, Nick Nurse saying that it was just one of those games where things get out of whack. You can't explain it. You get 2 or 3 of those a season. He wants to get back and get this revenge on that Magic team, obviously taking the series and helping them in the standings as well.
Yeah, it was a game where you scored 80 paint points, 36 points off turnovers, and you're right, Andre. When you allow 80 points in the paint and you're Andre Drummond, that's all you can do is try to goad Wendell Carter Jr. Into I don't even know what that necessarily was. He tried to goad Wendell into like a shadow boxing match. Like he didn't even try to goad Wendell into an actual fight. He wanted just to play the hey, put your dukes up sort of game, and Wendell didn't even really
hit the fighting Irish pose.
Yeah, exactly. He hit him with the old fighting Irish pose. And Wendell hit him with one of the most memeable moments of the season, I think. That look, I don't even know. It was kind of a look of disgust. It was just sort of like this. It was my profile picture on Twitter for a minute. It was just sort of like, bro, what are you doing? Which I have a feeling we might see something similar tonight, although I'm not even sure how much we'll see Andre Drummond tonight if Joel Embiid is healthy and plays. And then Adem Bona is the other backup big that you got to look out for. He played really well when we saw Philadelphia the first time this season. You mentioned Paolo, by the way. In that loss in October, it was right before Banchero went down with the groin injury. He was phenomenal. Had 32 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 block shots, and he was 10 of 18 from the field, 11 of 11 at the free throw line. So he was not the problem in that game. The defense was the problem. Scoring 124 points against this Philadelphia team, and for this Orlando Magic team should be enough to win that game. The offense was not the issue against the Sixers in the first match of the season. It was keeping those guys in front of you. Philadelphia putting up 136 points in that game. And they got contributions from a lot of other guys. We mentioned Maxey and Edgecombe. But I mentioned Bona. He had 3 block shots in that game. Kelly Oubre had 25 points in that one. He didn't play in the second game. Really, I mean, it's a revenge type of matchup for Philadelphia, but they did not have really anybody available in November. We didn't cry any tears for him. We were banged up as well, but I think it's going to be much closer to what the fastball looks like for the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. And as we know, the Magic's still hoping to get healthy. Still don't have Franz or Jalen. So this version of the Magic has their work cut out for them tonight against this Philadelphia team. Real quick before we toss it down to Jamal Mosley, Chrissy's quote book. Do you have anything else you would like to pull on that you heard at shoot around this morning that you found interesting?
I think one of the biggest things that I heard from Bean, from Coach Mosley, from Wendell Carter Jr. was they were just talking about managing the ups and downs of the season, being 500 in the last 12 games. It's something that, they don't want to be in that situation right now. They have high expectations for this team. We heard it all the way back in training camp of what this team wants to accomplish by the end of the season. So just hearing what they were saying about what it's like being at this 500, trying to break that streak. They said they need to get back to that Magic standard. They need to share the ball. They need to get back to that defensive identity, get the stops, run in transition. It felt like that was the whole message between everybody who spoke today, was that they want to get back to their standard. And they said, it's tough with the rotations, being out of rotation with all of the injuries that you have going on, but they have to have next man up mentality. Players have to step up. We've seen some players step up. We'll talk about it a little bit more after Coach Jamal Mosley speaks to the media. But that's been the biggest thing about this team, is that they've been in this win one game, lose one game, win one game, lose one game. And it felt like coming into tonight, they want to break that streak.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the next man up mentality. You've gotten that, and so now, frankly, in my opinion, it's a matter of the starting group buttoning things up a little bit. The turnover.
Coach, your group hasn't had much time at home recently to just get at least 2 this time to build in some routine and comfort as your group's trying to build consistency. How big can that be in that regard?
I mean, it's good to get home for a day and a half and then play one and then get out again. But, we understand the circumstances. And so being home and being able to go through a morning shoot around, the routine, guys get back in their schedule, the recovery they need, sleep in your own bed. I think it's all great to get back here for the moment, to be able to be around our home crowd as well.
Jace was upgraded to available a little bit ago, just to have him back. I know he only missed 1 game, but at a time where bodies are thin, just how does that help you guys?
A lot, having bodies.
We saw Noah on Wednesday, guard Cam Thomas, and then switch back on the bigger guy, and then back on. Obviously, that's a big reason why you guys drafted him, but how valuable is that to have as a player and the versatility that it gives you?
I think it's great. You have different matchups. One moment he's guarding a McCollum, then he's guarding, Porter Jr., then he's guarding a big. In the Denver game when we were out there, he ended up on Joker a few possessions. So I think being able to guard multiple positions is a great luxury to have, in Noah.
The Greater Orlando Sports Commission announced yesterday it's bidding for the 2030 All-Star Game. I know that's a long way away and you're focused on tonight, but just to have the idea of the All-Star Game potentially coming back to Orlando in the future, just what would that mean for the city in Orlando?
Oh, I think it'd be incredible. I think it for the city, for the fans, for the game, what Orlando brings, the community that it has here, how we support the game. I think it'd be fantastic, for this community to be able to get that bid.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm great.
Anthony Black is used on both ends so much. How do you help him balance that energy and effort throughout the game, where he's utilized as a primary defender, third most of any guard in the league, and also asked to do so much offensively to create off and on the ball?
Yeah, I think it's a heavy weight for him to carry, and just being able to pick and choose those times. He's a young guy, so he can, kind of manage that a little bit. He's doing a great job taking care of his body. I think it's those moments that you pick and choose the times that you're attacking downhill, creating for others, and then defensively, it's always going to be the all-out effort, which he continues to give to guard multiple positions at times.
Jamal, it's been a while since you guys have won back-to-back games. It's fun for us to be able to say, win, loss, and look at it that way. What's your perspective on it, and having a chance to start a win streak tonight? I
see it the same way you all do. I'd like to put a couple more together in a row as well. playing good basketball in moments, and then finding a way at times to not let it cycle the other direction. And so our guys being able to bounce back is always the right thing, but you like to be able to string a couple more together, and I think that just comes with the consistency of how we continue to play for 48 minutes.
Hey, Coach. This Sixers team has obviously come together health-wise a lot more since when you saw them earlier in the year. Just what has most stood out to you in that regard as far as what they're kind of trying to put together right now?
Well, I think, those guys being out help some of the other guys that are stepping in moments. I think, McCain being able to get back while, other guys were out, Paul George being out, and then Edgecombe being able to step in. It's given these guys a level of confidence when they're out there that they each feel they can be starting. And so when, you go to their bench, there's no real drop-off because each one of those guys has felt what it's like to be a starter and the confidence that you have to possess when you step on that floor. And so I think them clicking right now is at a pretty high level.
Tyrese Maxey, speaking about that, Tyrese Maxey's kind of an MVP candidate this season, at least playing like it. When you guys played him the first time, they were without Embiid and Edgecombe. How does he sort of stress the defense, and what advantages can the Sixers get from having him and Embiid and Edgecombe on the floor? And what do you guys need to do to stop them tonight?
Yeah, I think they create major problems because of his speed, because of his shooting ability, his ability to get downhill, attack the basket and get fouled. That creates a problem right away because you have to shift and load the defense to him. And then once you've shifted and loaded and he moves it, now you're closing out to an Edgecombe who's explosive, can shoot the ball, attack the rim. And then if you don't have that close out there, now you're throwing the ball to Embiid, who now creates a matchup nightmare in the way he's able to get to the free throw line. So following the game plan, knowing how you're doing it without fouling, being smart on how you close out, knowing who you're closing out to, but just creating a 1 versus 5 mentality each time one of those guys touches the basketball.
Coach, we're right in the middle of the season now, and defensively, your numbers just don't compare to last year. Up and down the board. What do you see as the factors?
Yeah, I think there's probably a few. I think there's been moments where we've turned it over, and that's created, transition baskets on the other end. So it's looking, transition baskets are one. We've got to continue to do a better job of finishing possessions out with the rebound. I think that's a big key right there. And then because of the speed of the game, our ability to sit down and guard, keeping guys in front, that's a high priority. We have moments of doing it, but being able to do it consistently for 48 is going to be the key as we, walk in that second half of the season.
All right. Thank you, Coach Mosley.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. Welcome back. Jake Chapman and Chrissy Birdsall here with you on the radio deck. Magic Sixers coming your way. 6:30, we'll have the pregame show on 96.9 The Game, our flagship station. You can always stream us in the Central Florida area, the Orlando Magic app or the iHeart app. Best way to find us there. If you're outside of the listening area, check us out on Sirius XM or where else? On NBA League Pass Audio. That's where else you can find us. All right, good stuff there from Jamal Mosley. And one of the last questions about the defensive numbers, the slippage we've seen lately. Slippage is going to be my keyword for today.
Slip and slide.
Well, not slip and slide.
Just slip it.
Although there's been some slipping and some sliding, so I think that's fair. We can do that. Just sort of across the board, though, it's been kind of like a negative plateau effect. Nothing.
Right.
There hadn't been like complete fall off a cliff, drop off, but the defense has experienced some slippage over the course of the last 10 games. In fact, I have the numbers sitting here somewhere. Over the course of the last 10 games, the Magic 25th in rebound percentage. The Magic are 18th in opponent turnover percentage, so we're not turning the teams over. We're not rebounding. Our fast break points have fallen off a cliff. That's the one thing that have fallen off a cliff. 27th in fast break points after being in the top 5 for most of the season. And we're 18th in defensive rating over the course of the last 10 games. 25th in offensive rating. This all intermingles and interacts.
Right.
This all has to do with each other. The Magic's defensive numbers don't look fantastic. But with that said, and specifically over the last 10 games, But with that said, there are some offensive reasons for that. We have turned the ball over too much over the course of the last week. When we turn the ball over, you're allowing easy buckets back down the other way. That's just that is putting your defense behind the 8 ball. I think there are some small areas to clean up and button up a little bit, and you will see some pretty quick rectification of the defensive numbers that we've seen lately. Not far off. I think over the course of the last week, you have been letting guys get past you, and it's been kind of a point of pride. You need to sort of step it up and just get back to Magic basketball.
Right.
But I think the slippage over the course of the last month or so, I think you can button up a few things, and that will look a lot better very quickly.
I think it all goes back to the consistency, whether it's consistency across the season, consistency across 48 minutes, consistency with your rotations. It all kind of goes back to that playing a full 48, establishing wins, getting back to your Magic standard of basketball. And there was actually one defensive point that I pointed out when I was looking, is that throughout the season, they've been one of the best teams in second chance points on the defensive end. And in the last 10 games, they've dropped to 20th. And that's been something, the rebounding game, you heard Mose talk about it a little bit, is that, there's matchup problems all over the floor, that Maxey can get downhill, he can get to the basket, he can get a foul. If he can't get it, then Edgecombe's going to be an explosive player. And if he can't get it, then Embiid's going to be a really strong player, and he is a nightmare, at least in the paint, with just how many fouls that he draws. So that's going to be a really big key today, is the bigs, just how they're going to be able to manage those three, especially on the paint and getting downhill, and then being able to get the rebounds, because that's something Mosley said, is that they have to finish these defensive stops with a rebound, and then they can get out in transition, because you can't have the offense if your defense isn't working.
No, exactly. I mean, look, the second chance points in offensive rebounding has been an issue against a team like this. It can be even more so. Because we're a team rebounding team.
Right.
I think Wendell and Goga will be fine tonight against Philadelphia's bigs. Embiid, for as big as he is and for as good as he is, he does not attack the glass like he used to when he was a little bit younger in his career. He kind of plays free throw line to free throw line at this point. And so I think there's an opportunity there, but we're going to have to clean up some of the things we've seen really going back the last 2 weeks now. And that, like, you can't allow a whole bunch of second chance points and offensive rebounds against this team. You're going to have to defend well in the half court, keeping those guys in front of you, and you absolutely have to take care of the basketball, because once you get the Philadelphia 76ers easy buckets in transition, they're so good in the half court, you can't allow both of those things tonight. So taking care of the basketball will be a huge key tonight. And then the last thing is this. You heard Coach Mosley mention free throws. Magic still are top 2 in the league in free throws attempted per game. Philadelphia is 9th, and staying in, to me, you always put a team on the free throw line a whole bunch of times when you're tired. And
right.
So you're a step slow, and these guys will absolutely exploit any sort of tiredness that you may have with Maxey and Edgecombe in the way that they blow past you, and then the way that Embiid can just shoot right over you. But Embiid is so crafty at that pump fake and then playing that game that I always complain about, but he does it about as well as anybody, and you have to give him credit. Averages just under 8 free throw attempts per game, 7.8 for Embiid. He knocks him down about 84% of the time. If this is one of those Philadelphia between Maxey and Embiid are shooting 20 free throws and the team is shooting 30 free throws in this game tonight, we're in trouble. We have to defend without fouling, and it's a lot easier said than done against Embiid and his up and under stuff, and against Maxey and Edgecombe with how fast they are.
And that's going to be an interesting factor, is because we haven't seen Embiid in those 2 games that we played them earlier in the season. So how is the Magic going to defend against a guy like Embiid? Because in that second game especially, Anthony Black said after, is that defensive identity, they felt like they rediscovered it in that game a little bit, and that was something that was a point of pride for this team, is that they got the stops and then they went out in transition and got the buckets, which is why they had that 54 to 51 point second quarter. And that's the thing, they have to lean back on that identity, knowing that they've done it before against this team with most of those guys playing again. It's just that factor of Embiid. What is he going to do now that we know that he's probably playing tonight?
Very last thing, as you got to look at Tristan da Silva getting shots up. He's been good over his last 4 games,
That's
8 of 15 from 3-point range. Noah Penda in the Brooklyn game was 3 of 5 from 3-point range. And we have Jace Richardson back after he missed the Brooklyn game. Last time Jace was on the floor in Washington, he was 3 of 4 from 3-point range. two of those three guys need to knock down a couple threes tonight because you're going to have to score with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm looking for a high-paced, very entertaining game tonight, maybe like a 125-120 type of final score, and hopefully Magic able to stack 2 consecutive wins for the first time since the beginning of December. She's Chrissy. I'm Jake. It's been Magic Game Day, getting you ready for the Sixers and the Orlando Magic. Tip time coming up at 7 o'clock. Pregame on the radio side at 6:30. You can always stream us on iHeart, on the Orlando Magic app, or check us out anywhere in the world on NBA League Pass Audio or Sirius XM. We'll send you down to the floor. Go Magic.
and honey dip. Whipping out Abels, no condiments. From Barranquilla, no argument. She going hard like a gallo. Don't care what they say, hell if I know. I'm chilling with babe with my eyes closed. Got the champagne with my blindfolds. How much a flight in Miami? Shopping and tripping with Moochie the family. Dry top when I dry down. Acting hella savage like I'm Randy. I'm on 1,000. Living my life like I don't get no hoots about plan Bs. My life something like a Tahoe. Yours something like a Camry. Yeah.
but you got to go quick. 2.1 to go. Black gets it into Banchero. He'll turn. Shot is up for the win. Banks it in! Big time Banchero! He delivers in Brooklyn! What a bucket for P5!
They're going to look at it, Dante, but I think this is good.
Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run
Welcome
the
to
town just
Courtside
like
Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm Kendra Douglas, and we got Bo Outlaw in the building with us as well to get you ready for tonight's game. Bo, we just saw Paolo Banchero knock down that game-winning shot. They replayed it just now in Brooklyn. A buzzer beater, his first of his career. But boy, I'm sure happy to be back in Orlando to play in the Kia Center.
Man, listen. It's been a rough little trip off and on, playing well, not playing well. But like you say, to be on for 2 games is great. What I like about it, we won the game the same way we went down in the game.
Yeah.
They hit a bank 3 to go up, and we hit a bank 3 to win it. So, we bank you.
Wait, I like that. That was a good one. But ultimately, a good game. I want to get into a little bit of the highlights. Let's talk about P5's game. One thing that I love about him is that for him, he's been able to go through injury, come back out of injury, and these last couple of games for him, he's just been so dynamic for this team. He's been so good for the Magic as of late. But let's talk about the highlights of this game. The Magic, they went on a 32-12 run in that second half. Oh, excuse me, that was back in, I'm talking about DC for a moment. That's when they did go. But talking about this one, what I thought was interesting, this was a low-scoring game.
Really low.
It was. Brooklyn, they've been ranked 3rd in defense since December 1st. So they were already going to make it difficult for the Magic to score all night. And it didn't get into the hundreds until we got into overtime.
Man, the game was, like you say, a defensive game because they played defense, we played defense. And like you said, the game didn't, I guess, heat up until the end of the 4th. I can't think of the kid's name. He caught fire for them.
Oh, Yegor.
Yegor caught fire, and we were scoring shots, but he was making shots. He was the only one over to make shots. Yeah. You name it. Tough shots, off the bank shots, off the dribble shot, you name it, he's making. And that's when the game changed.
Deep in his bag, knocking down threes.
And I was like,
that was majority of where they came from, was late in the game, and then also, of course, overtime. But also a rookie too, just coming in and helping that team out. Michael Porter Jr. also just being dynamic. But I loved about Noah Penda. That was his 21st birthday as well. The way that he's been able to play and be so versatile, also coming off that great performance in DC the night before, you gotta love what you're seeing from Noah Penda.
Nobody thought nothing less of Noah Penda. My big thing was the game going to be too fast for him?
Oh, yes.
Not him not being too smart, not having the skill set. He has all that. Was the game going to be fast? And he answered my question, no, because his IQ is in front of his game. So he's in position, making plays, and he's being very effective, and that's what we need. Young guys bringing energy, because like you say, this is a long season. The more young guys you can get to play well, the longer the season can go for us.
You know what I loved is that when I talked with Noah, I said, oh my God, your 21st birthday, how you feeling? He goes, I know Americans think it's a big deal when you turn 21. He goes, when we were in France, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter when they turn 21. At 18, you can do whatever, and then 16. So it's even better. But also the fact is we got to remember that Noah's played with probably 21-year-olds when he was 16.
Yes.
So I like what you mentioned about, is the game too fast for him? For him, he probably has been around in this environment with older adults and playing with them for so long, being in France.
Yes, like I say, when you're one of the better players in your country, you're going to play with older guys. That's how you grow up playing. So but European speed and American speed is different. The IQ in them Europe is head and shoulders, and that's what's bringing. That's the advantage for him coming to the States, because, like I said, his IQ is so ahead of his age.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, and he's just being very effective on court. And on top of that, he's a great kid, man. He's a really good dude.
He really is. 13 points for him, 11 rebounds in that game against the Nets. I want to get to some of the comments because people are loving the fact that you are here, Bo. Someone said, all love for Bo and hope he comes on the road again one day. Bo ain't coming on the road. He did his one and done. He did his one and done in Houston. We had a great time in Houston, though.
We did.
We did. It was a great broadcast. I felt like we had a good time.
Because of you.
You too. You brought the heat. You brought the heat. We didn't come out with the win, but what a game that
was.
Oh,
man, that was a great game. And like you say, you always want the win when you're doing TV, especially like, man, we need this win. We need this win.
Yeah.
We competed and we were down. We were undermanned. We were missing a lot of key pieces that game. So therefore, look at this. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, look at this right here.
You guys, there's a reason why Jeff Turner is wearing the Iowa.
Let's break it down first.
Okay, break it down.
He's a Vanderbilt guy.
He is.
Through and through. And his team is doing great.
Yes.
And it's Chandler being the guy. Chandler's my guy.
Okay.
He's the freshman there. He's playing.
Okay.
But this right here, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a bowl game wager with Joel Glass, who I think is a good friend of mine. He's our boss.
Yes.
Yeah. He switched on me. I had a really nice Hawkeye tie. And Kendra, this is what I'm going to do all night. I'm just going to hold this like this. But if I did, you would see it's not the ugliest Iowa tie that they make. So.
It's unique.
I think the Iowa fans might like that tie, so I don't know.
Now, if you're watching tonight, don't think I've lost my mind. I'm just honoring a bet.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Because I was looking like, what are you doing with that tie?
I know. We were talking about it on the broadcast, too, that Jeff Turner was going to have to wear that if Vanderbilt didn't win. And, boy, they did not win. So, Jeff Turner, as we continue to bring you in Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet, and continue to bring the comments, continue to bring the energy as we talk about tonight's game, the Magic here for 2. Going against the 76ers tonight, and then an early game Sunday before they get on the road to the global games. So that's going to be a big one. All right, let's talk about Paolo Banchero's game before I let you go. As I was mentioning, Paolo Banchero, with the way he's been able to play as of late, I mean, he's been aggressive. He's been eager. You know, he's clearly wanting to show he's not hurt. He's fine. He's good to go. He got his 11th double-double of the season in that game, 30 points, 14 rebounds. And then here's what was even better was that he was 0 of 3 from that whole night until he knocked down. Exactly, until he knocked down that last 3. First career buzzer beater from Paolo. Ultimately, though, you know that he would love to be, you know he's going to continue to want to be more aggressive on the court.
100%. But what I do like is he wants to be aggressive, but he's not forcing aggressive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
he's not just trying to score every time. He's letting other guys make plays. But I'm not surprised that he made that shot.
Yeah.
If you look at the career since he's been here, at the end of games, he has no problem taking and making those shots.
He doesn't. He's confident in it.
He's sentenced in overtime a couple of times, but when you got a guy like Desmond on the other side that you can't leave, it's making these shots easier. And then when Franz come back, one of those 3 guys are going to have opportunity to go one-on-one rather than worry about a double team, and that's what's great. One guy's hurt, another guy's getting in his groove, then another guy's going to come back. And once we get all 3 of those guys together and that groove rolling, man.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for when everyone gets healthy again and comes back. They're gonna be doing the Bo dance. We all gonna be doing this dance right here when everyone comes back. But Bo, thank you so much.
No problem. Hey, Dave,
Yeah, you did.
Savage, my bad.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I just messed that up, y'all. Savage, just your seat over here. Don't be sitting over there. Come on over here. You can cut in and come get.
It's like you forget which broadcast you're on. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Now you know my situation.
Your situation is a lot. But that's why they pay you the big bucks. You're the pro, and I'm a no.
All right, let's listen to the guys who talked earlier today during shoot around.
Coach, you know, your group is 7-2 in these 3 points or less games. What have you been able to do, regardless of the circumstances of how you guys get there, who's been in, who's been out, to come away with wins in those situations?
You know, just understanding what we're looking for in those games, being able to give these guys a sense of direction is exactly what we're asking for. These guys are executing at the right time, defending at the right time. But then we've also talked about not letting it get there. But this league is good enough that teams play so fast, they find their way back in games. But we've got to continue to do a great job of communicating. Each game is going to be different, but our process has to stay the same.
Des, your group is 7-2 in games decided by 3 points or less this season.
Feels like they all decided by 3 points or less.
You know, how have you liked your group's ability to respond regardless of who's been in the lineup, how you got there, but, you know, down the stretch find a way to come out with it?
I think it's huge for teams. I mean, early on when we started getting in those situations, like I would always tell the guys, like, this is good for us. You know, like you need to be in those close games, meaningful games. So when it comes down to it, you know, we're not second guessing anything, you know, in those moments. And you've seen, you know, throughout those games, we've won them all in different ways. You know, whether we're coming from behind or we have a lead and lose a lead, find a way to get the stops that we need down the stretch. So it's all growing opportunities, things that we definitely got to improve on. But, you know, that's what these next 40-some games are for. And, you know, after everything we've been through this year, I think that we're in a good spot.
And you just heard from Coach Mosley and a couple of the guys getting ready for tonight's game at Shoot-Around as we welcome you inside the Kia Center again. I'm back on Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet with Dan Savage. Savage Says. I feel like I want to start the conversation like that from here on out with Savage Says. And don't forget that tonight's game is going to be on FanDuel Sports Network. You can catch up with Dante, Q, Nick Anderson, all the gang. They're going to be outside for tonight's game. Starting that one, I know, right? They're going to be starting outside for tonight's game in the pregame show starting at 6:30. But let's talk about this Brooklyn game real quick before we get into talking about the 76ers. So I was just talking to Bo about Paolo and his performance. But another guy who had a really good performance as well was Wendell Carter Jr. And I feel like he's just been a straight constant for this team. He's had some moments, but I feel like but he still has been able to come up big for them. So scored 20 points, 6 rebounds, and they were all defensive rebounds too for the Magic. He just continues to have that aggressive presence at the rim like you saw right there. I like what he's doing for this Magic team so far.
Yeah, what I really liked in that game is when defenses were showing him certain coverages, he put the ball on the floor and was aggressive going to the rack. And I think those opportunities present themselves in the style of the Magic offense this season. And as he gets more comfortable recognizing that and executing that way, I think he could be even more of an effective offensive playmaker for the Orlando Magic, and we saw that in stretches against Brooklyn that night.
Yeah, we sure did. You see his stats from that game, 20 points, 6 rebounds for Wendell Carter Jr. I like what this team is doing. One of the things that was talked about during the pregame presser was we want to see you guys string together more wins. If you guys noticed these last couple of games, last 12 now, it's been alternating win-loss, win-loss. It would be nice now to see the Magic come away with a win tonight.
Yeah, that would definitely be great against the Sixers team that's getting more and more healthy. But I don't know if you've had the chance to see since you've been on the show, but Tristan Da Silva will not play tonight.
No, I did not get that.
Had back spasms creep up during the pregame shoot-around process, so he'll be out tonight. So the Magic down 2 starters.
I heard you forced somebody to wear a tie today.
I didn't force them. It was honest little wager between myself and Jeff Turner. So everyone catch Jeff Turner's tie on FanDuel Sports Network tonight.
He came over and showed it to us and said he's going to be holding a mic right in front of it.
That's not really fair. He can't put his credential in front of it. He can't close his jacket. Can't hold the mic. Like, take it like a man.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Show glass, everyone.
We'll get Turner's turn at some point today, and hopefully
already
he
might. He came. That's why people have already been seeing the tie. They saw the tie.
I haven't seen the tie
I know.
yet.
Okay, when he comes back around, hopefully you see the tie.
We'll harass him some more.
It's classic. It's a creative.
All right, I like that. But, you know, as we were alluding to, they'll be down Tristan Da Silva tonight. We already know they're out 3 other rotation players, 2 starters, and Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Mo Wagner as well. So that's going to be a test against the Sixers team that's now getting fully healthy and has all their players available to them.
That's what I really want to talk about, too, because we got to talk about how dynamic this Sixers team has been as of late. I want to get to some of your questions, some of the comments real quick. Oh, I forget. You know what? Thank you, fans, because you guys always remind me of the nicknames that you guys give guys. Double Dell, and then now he has Penda to complete. And I don't know if you guys have been listening to the broadcast. We have a lot of Pandemonium. We have Kung Fu Panda. we have JT and Dante been coming up with a lot of them. So.
I love putting opposing players in the penitentiary. Penitentiary.
Yes,
Like,
penitentiary.
yeah, it's one of those easier things that's easier to type than say, but like the penitentiary.
I like that
You
one.
know, locking people up because that's what Noah Penda does.
He sure does. I want you guys to give us all your comments about the nicknames that you guys have for Noah Penda. I think we need to come up with some. He's been really good for the Magic as of late. So I think we need more comments about that. Oh, Penda Bear. Wait, that's like too soft, but like I like it. I get what you're saying. I get the vibes. What else we got going on? Paolo's been going off against these teams as of late. Yes, he sure has. But let's talk about this Pacer squad. You just mentioned they're becoming healthy. They got BJ Edgecombe, who's just been such a great asset to their team. Fun fact, I heard from a couple friends that since his family's from the Bahamas, they will all be here at this game. So his teammates all came together too to give him their tickets. So he might have like 50 people from the Bahamas coming here today. So that's going to be that's going to give him some edge.
I like that. But, you know, when you look at the way the Sixers numbers stack up here, as accurate as they are a reflection of what they've done this season, they're not accurate in terms of what this team can do when they're fully healthy on the court. And you look at having Joel Embiid back. He didn't play in the first two matchups. Paul George is getting his legs under him. And then you toss in guys like Edgecombe, Maxey, who's having an MVP season.
He sure is.
Jared McCain. They have guys up and down the roster who are scoring threats, so it really makes them a dynamic offensive team. And we've seen that at the time when they just have their backcourt players, they play at an electric pace. With Embiid back, that slows down a bit, so the Magic are going to have to prepare for a different style opponent than what they've seen in the past.
You just mentioned Tyrese Maxey. Let's talk about him a little bit. The way he's been playing as of late, like you just said, he's having an MVP season. I mean, he has led the Sixers with 20 points in the last meeting between the two teams. He's just continuing to just perform at a high level that, you know, it's going to be hard for the Magic to stop.
Now, when you look at different players in the league, the best ones have rare traits.
Yeah.
For Paolo, when you look at him, it's a guy at 6'10" with that size that's as powerful he is and as crafty as he is and as smart as he is for a player that big. For Tyrese Maxey, it's a guy with his size that has electrifying speed. And so when he goes to the rim and gets downhill, he sucks in the defense and is then able to either finish and get contact and go to the free throw line or also kick out to a number of scoring options, which we just listed. So he has his own way and ability of really altering defenses and benefiting his teammates.
I love when you were talking about the way he was performing because it showed it right there, the way that he's able to suck those defenses to come in together and then finish at the rim. So he's just been able to help this 76ers team out so much this season.
Yeah, no, and it's going to really fall on the shoulders of Anthony Black tonight to keep him in front of him.
Yeah.
Now, you know, in some of these other matchups, we've had Franz Wagner to be able to throw looks at him. We had Jalen Suggs to be able to throw looks at him.
Yeah.
And now it's up to Anthony Black to do that without getting into foul trouble because that's an area where Maxey and Embiid, those guys can live at the free throw line. And if you get handsy early and start making mistakes, that could take you out of the game. And the Magic don't have the depth tonight to really handle that against the Sixers team.
I like what you said. That's one thing that I think is so important to remember is that Embiid loves to get to the line. That is a guy that knows how to draw a foul, and especially his years in the league as well. He's just been able to figure it out, craft it. You see his numbers right there and what he's doing so far this season. This is a team that also just came off a big win against the Wizards. He had 28 in that game. Paul George had 23. Now get this. This was the first time that each of those players, so Maxey, George, and Embiid, reached 20-point mark in the same game. And, of course, you have to say, yeah, because the injuries, you know, you haven't been able to see all three of them really have a game together like that.
You know, I think because of the way they start off the season with a number of those guys injured in the preseason, a lot of people didn't look at this Sixers team as a championship contender.
Yeah.
However, that was a result of the injuries. Now with those guys fully healthy and on the floor together, they're as capable and have as much talent as anyone in the Eastern Conference to be the representative in the finals. So this is a good barometer test for the Orlando Magic, a team they've currently split the season series with.
Yep.
This will be a game tonight that'll decide the season series tiebreaker. So the Magic are going to have a tremendous focus level and treat the game as such.
Yeah. I want to get to some of everyone's comments. Someone said Mo is ready to play in Berlin. So Mo Wagner is right behind us, warming up, going through his warm-ups. I will say this. It is really good to see Mo Wagner really be on the court in this type of environment and this type of energy. We still don't know yet. Of course, it's still, the training staff and everyone have to continue to monitor, because ultimately, as much as you would love to see him in Berlin, we want to see him in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's
That's
number one.
what we really want to see, ultimately.
I will say, to me, it's been a great sign that both he and his brother Franz have been going through their normal shooting slot progressions, both on the road and now here at home. And that's usually a sign that these guys are in the final stages of their rehab process and are in the point where they're reconditioning for play. So hopefully they're able to get there, because I know how much playing in Berlin would mean to both of those guys.
1,000%. You grow up and you live for things like this. So it would be amazing to see both guys out there. But of course, you have to make sure that ultimately you are taking care of their health, because like I said, we're trying to get to the playoffs, Dad. We're trying to get
No
there.
doubt about it. And we need both those guys to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yes. Comment saying Mo is going to be such a spark when he comes back. He's already a spark on the bench as well. So I agree with you. When he comes back, he will definitely be a spark. I want to get to some of your comments as well, but I want to also get to your storylines, Dan. So let's get to your storylines for tonight's game, as the Magic will look to go head-to-head against the 76ers. What you got for me?
Well, we already touched on a few of these, but number one, attack the paint with a purpose. Whether Joel Embiid's in there or not, where the Magic were so effective in that game where they routed the 76ers in the NBA Cup, was they scored 70-plus points in the paint by going downhill and attacking. They need that relentlessness tonight. Clean the glass. Against the Sixers teams, you can't commit turnovers, and you can't give them extra possessions on the glass. They'll try to generate those opportunities with Embiid. Wendell and company can't allow that to happen. And lastly, stay in front. Slow down Tyrese Maxey. If you allow him to get to the rim, he's going to live at the free throw line, whether he's creating contact with guards or centers. You can't allow that to happen. Stay in front of him. Force him into tough twos tonight. If you do those things, I think we'll be in good shape.
I like that. Something that I think is also interesting, too, is the way that the bench has been playing as of late for the Magic. That's what you want to see. But one thing that Coach Mosley talked about was guys like BJ. Sorry, I got a gnat. Sorry, he said guys like BJ Edgecombe, when he comes off the bench, he's playing like he's a starter because he had to in certain situations. What do you like about his performance and how he's been playing as of late?
Yeah, I mean, he's a rookie, but he's not playing like one. Probably second or third right now in the league's rookie ladder. So he's really stepped up and been a surprise player for the Sixers, I think, with his effectiveness so early. And the Sixers are benefiting right now from what the Magic hope to benefit from later in the season, which is you've had all these guys miss time. That's given other guys the attempt to build rhythm, get a time to shine.
Yeah.
And I think when we look forward in the Magic later in the season, when you have Franz back, Jalen back, Mo Wagner back, and you look at the roles that Tristan, Anthony Black, etc. slide back into, you go, oh, all of a sudden we have this really deep team where the bench is extremely potent. I think we'll eventually get that, like the Sixers are benefiting right now, where Edgecombe played all these minutes early in the season and now is a potent secondary threat.
I completely agree with you. I think what you're going to see from the 76ers is what the Magic will get to once everyone gets healthy. You see his numbers right now. I want to continue to talk a little bit about his last 5 games. So over his last 5, he's even averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals over his last 5 for the 76ers. He's one of 3 rookies in the NBA this season with at least 10 games of 20-plus points, and one of 2 rookies in the NBA this season averaging at least 15 points and 5 rebounds. So he's having a pretty good
Yeah, unfortunately, the Magic are really catching the Sixers team at the worst time because there was a little bit of clunkiness when Paul George came back, when Embiid came back, and these guys are getting their roles readjusted. Just as the Magic will probably have some clunkiness when their guys first come back as well. But they're starting to figure it all out. As you mentioned, 3 guys scoring 20 points. They're figuring how to take their turns, when each guy's going to be aggressive. So the Magic are really going to have a tough task ahead of them tonight. There's not a guy on the injury report that's a normal rotation player, and that's what Orlando's going to have to handle against Philadelphia tonight.
Exactly. Okay, what else we got going on over here? It's a good one. Sorry, it's funny. It's a funny one. Okay, Kendra, how do we feel about the big no-no for Penda? Like no, I like that. Or wait, I feel like that's been taken. Well, what sign do you do that? Because you can't do no anymore. That's already been taken.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many good tie-ins to Penda
Yeah.
that we could play off that, but
Okay.
the no
Right.
or penitentiary, you could do
We could do
something that.
something. Okay, let's work with that. I like what you're going for this one,
Little
J.
Dikembe
Curve.
Mutombo
But
ass.
yeah, we'll work on it. We'll tweak it a little bit. You work on it and tweak it a little bit, and then we'll see you back on Sunday. Then you give us what
Gotta
you were thinking
process
of.
that one.
Yes. Someone said I have a feeling we're gonna have a monster game from Paolo Banchero. I think as of late, there's no more that you could say about like he's trying to get into a groove, he's trying to find his swing, or his legs under him. I don't think you can say that anymore with P5.
No, I mean, first of all, the pressure that was put on him in that Brooklyn game was defenses that are rarely seen, where they were blitzing him as soon as he got the ball by half court
Yeah.
and throwing double coverages at him. And I thought, while maybe it took him a little bit of time to adjust, and we saw that with the high turnover numbers, he had some lethal passes late in the game where he had fully processed what the Nets were trying to do and found Wendell for a big dunk, found
did.
Tristan for a big
Yep,
play under the
sure
rim,
did,
and really started to pick them apart, which all culminated in then him hitting the bank shot in overtime to put coffin nails in the Brooklyn Nets. So I loved what I'm seeing from Paolo, and I think just all-star the guy.
Yeah, all-star him. Just all-star him. All right, let's take a look at the road ahead and look at our schedule. Wow, I'm really mixing in my shows today. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Orlando Magic and what games we've got going on. So on Sunday, the Magic will be taking on the Pelicans before they head on the road to Europe, as they're going to be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies in Germany and in London. Those should be really good games. You can also catch the Germany game on FanDuel Sports Network as well. So that will be like at 2 p.m., I think, on FanDuel Sports Network. And so make sure you lock in with us because we're going to be broadcasting that game. But it should be a good one. All right, Dan, your final thoughts before we get out of here and get ready for tonight's game.
Yeah, let's enjoy some home cooking, number
Yes.
one, because this team's been on the road and not had full days at home. I think it's been like 3 full days at home in the last 8 days. I think after
Yeah, you're right.
after this
You're
past
right.
road trip, it
Yeah.
just keeps tacking up. So
We don't even
on top of that, the Magic have won, believe it or not, 10 of their last 13 games at home.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like they've strung a bunch together because they've been so spread out and spaced out. So for this Magic team, really reestablish that home court dominance. Let's take these 2 at home before it got, I don't even want to say it.
Don't say it.
Going back out on the road once again.
Well, that will do it for us on Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Kendra Douglas, Dan Savage, Bo Outlaw, Jeff Turner, Joel Glass. We had a great show today.
What a crew. I got to
crew.
run a pick and roll with Bo Outlaw to
did.
get back into this
And
seat.
then we just had a quick sub-in from Joel Glass. Like what is on earth? We got to make sure that we save this show because we're never going to have anyone like that do that again. Never
And
gonna
we
happen
even got goodie bags from Jacob
we
Diamond.
do. I'm
Our
excited to
equipment
see what that is about. I'm pumped about that. But that will do it for us. Next up, go ahead and head over to FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic, to lock in with Dante Marcatelli and the crew to get you ready for tonight's game. And we will see you on Sunday, Magic fans. And enjoy tonight's game.